Okay, hello, welcome along. Day 2 of COP26, we're in the green zone. I'm delighted to be joined by Johan Rockström, the director of the Potsdam Institute for Climate Impact Research. Johan, hello. Talk to us a bit about what you've just been doing here with the unveiling.
Yeah, thanks, and great to be with you here at the Green Zone. Yes, we've just unveiled the next generation of Formula E racing car that Envision is running. I find that to be, a very clear signal that the next phase in modern development is a transition towards a modern, high-tech, zero-carbon electric mobility future. So scientifically, we know that we need to, halve emissions every year. It's a record speed. And when sports and racing also moves in record speed along the same pathway, of course, it should correctly get scientific support, and that's what I'm lending here.
I mean, the car looks fantastic.
It does indeed.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the role of Formula E and the progression we're seeing in that sport when it comes to kind of accelerating climate action and raising awareness among the masses.
Yeah, I mean, to start with, I should admit that I am not a Formula 1 or Formula E kind of junkie at all. I'm not a car guy, I'm more a cyclist, but I'm still so fascinated by this because, Formula E represents really, the pinnacle of modernity of the internal combustion engine. It's like the industrial era's absolute highest peak of advancement. And in comes Formula E and shows that, this is the future. This is the pathway towards the next step in modernity. So I think it becomes a symbol of exactly what we want to accomplish across all sectors in society. Because what we now need to understand is that solving the climate crisis is not a sacrifice. Solving the climate crisis is exciting. It's Formula E. It is electric cycling. It is mobility that goes zero carbon, is clean, faster, cooler, more technologically advanced. And that, I think, is what this symbolizes, that we're here in Glasgow to solve a climate crisis. But it's not a sacrifice for us humans. It's actually an investment in a much more exciting, tolerable, equitable, healthier, advanced future. And that's what this symbolizes to me. So I'm quite egoistic in kind of using the Formula E as a tool to communicate also why the science is not about sacrifice. The science is really about investment into our future.
And on that note, I mean, COP26, what for you would make a successful climate summit when it comes to achieving that future?
Well, it's such an important summit here. I mean, we are now 6 years after Paris. We know that the legally binding Paris Agreement requires from all nations in the world, 196 countries, to keep their national plans of emission reductions in line with science. Since Paris, we've had 2 big reports, the IPCC 1.5 degrees Celsius report and the 6th assessment IPCC, both showing that 1.5 degrees Celsius has to be held because it's a global planetary boundary. If we go beyond it, we really have big danger. And we know that the countries are moving along a path that will take us to 2.7 degrees Celsius, which is a disaster path. I mean, it's a place we haven't been in for the past 4 or 5 million years. So nobody wants to go that way. So Glasgow is potentially one of our final chances to at least get all the plans in place that are aligned with science. So that has to happen here. So Glasgow is the moment to show the world that we're serious, and also to give us a chance of landing the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit that we have now, since 6 years agreed is an absolute maximum tolerable level. And that's what we need to really push for here in Glasgow.
And when it comes to turning these kind of global ambitions that you just discussed into kind of actual localized sustainability and climate actions, our audience obviously being business leaders and sustainability and climate professionals, do you have any kind of key pieces of advice or things you want to see businesses doing that actually translate these global ambitions into actual real goals and progress?
I think the number one thing that all businesses in the world must do and can do today is to start, being really open, go out in public and communicate that there's no contradiction between sustainability and profitability. That in fact, putting on the lens of a zero carbon, nature positive business strategy is a way to be competitive, to create new jobs, to be more successful on the market. And that goes from food industry to car industry to big Formula E to all businesses around the world. And I think that has to become more clear to all of us that this is the future. And the second thing, of course, is that every business now needs to do just like every country needs to do, namely align their businesses with the science. And interestingly, they can do that. They can, sign up to the Science-Based Target Initiative. They can adopt the carbon law of cutting emissions by half every decade. We have so many tools today that there's no excuse for any company not to align with the science. And when all companies do that, we know that politicians need to listen.
Well, politicians do need to listen, and you're right, there is no excuses left. So thank you very much, Johan, for your time, and thank you very much everyone there at EDI.